Hi everybody, I'm Lacy Schoen, CEO of Real Women, Real Success. And I help women reinvent themselves so they can become the person they need to be to have the life they want to have. And what I'm finding in working with women one-on-one and in my online women's group, Women Thriving at Work, is that so many women really want to start a business who are employed by someone else. And it's right in line for you to consider this if you've ever thought about it, because times are changing. So here's some information for you that you may not have realized. With the way that the job market and employment is going, in just a year and a half, so in 2020, 40% of the workforce will actually be their own boss. They'll be business owners, independent contractors, consultants, that kind of thing. But just 10 years later, in 2030, 60% of the workforce will have their own businesses. And what's kind of encouraging about that is that most of those people who are making that leap are actually not younger people. They're actually people who have retired or near retirement, or they're mid-career. A lot of the women I work with are mid-career, and they're like disillusioned, and they want to do something that's more in line with their passion, more in line with something that helps them actualize into really who they are and what they want to be and the contribution they want to make in the world, right? But also at the same time, I find that many women struggle with what am I going to do? What business am I going to choose? And it's overwhelming, right? And a lot of times they're looking at maybe other people who are successful in an area that they do know they want to pursue, or just are successful and they don't know what they want to pursue. And they're comparing themselves as beginners to these people. So what I wanted to talk to you about today that would encourage you not to compare yourself to people who've already made it, in owning their own business, because that's not how you're not going to start and just be wildly successful instantly. Certainly there are those people that have done that, but results not normal, right? It's a slow build. It's a slow build to build your own business. It takes 3 to 5 years if you really work at it and you have a good idea to be profitable. But there's the key word, ideas. So how do you come up with an idea that you're going to love and that's marketable, right? So this is what I want to encourage you to do. And that's to think about, and a lot of people will tell you this, right? A lot of people tell you, think about what are your skills? What are your passions? What are your interests, okay? What makes your heart sing? What is it that you can picture yourself doing? And in addition to that, what I would encourage you to do is also think about how you want your life to be, okay? So when I'm working with women who are becoming the person they need to be to have the life they want to have, we start with what's the life you want to have, because you build backwards. You sort of reverse engineer what fits into that. For instance, if you only want to work part-time and make a full-time salary or even be wealthy, that's great. You'll have to, I'm not saying during the building process you won't have to work harder. I certainly have. I've had to work full-time for a lot of years to get to a point where I could work part-time and have a full-time salary, right? So it takes some time, but the investment is worth it. So start with where you want to end up and start thinking about what are the kinds of businesses, what are the kinds of ideas that would fit into that lifestyle. Like for me, I have a jewelry company, so I have a product-based business, and I also have a coaching business. And it's taken me a while to figure this out, and I'm going to talk about this in a minute, about the figuring it out, to see how that fits into a part-time working lifestyle. But I figured it out, and they're both still growing, and I'm really excited about it. But it's allowed me to sort of engineer how I want those businesses to look. So they give me what I want, right? I didn't want to develop businesses or a business that kept me working as hard long-term as I did in my 30-year career. It's just not what I wanted. And I think a lot of people want to leave their businesses and have that same advantage. So start with the end in mind. They always tell you, start with the end in mind. One other thing to start to get ideas about what it is that you want to do with your life and your business is start stalking other people. Like if you see something interesting on YouTube, or like I love fashion and I sell jewelry, right? I don't sell fashion, I don't sell clothes, but I stock fashion companies. I stock, and because I sell vintage and that's used, right? 1950s and stuff, or I use those for new jewelry. Like this right here is vintage, right? This is a vintage brooch, this is a vintage necklace. So I just started stocking experts on vintage jewelry, fashion, new and secondhand online businesses. So like ThreadUp, oh my gosh, they're pretty new, but I watch them all. How are they selling online? What are they doing? What are they sending me an email? Like, start stalking what your interests are, okay? And that can help you start to get ideas too. And don't be turned off or scared if someone else is doing it, because if there's competition, it means there's a demand for it, and all you have to figure out over time is what your unique spin on it is going to be, and that's okay. That takes time. So here's some reasons why you should really consider this. You know, one of the reasons I push for this with women is because I think women are so underutilized in our society, both in government and in business. And, you know, we have such leadership skills to impart, such innate skills and abilities, and like our nurturing capacity, our ability to really see middle ground, to collaborate, to feel emotion, right? A lot of times, you know, women get knocked down for feeling their emotion, but if you follow the top leaders, emotion, positive emotion, is absolutely necessary to success of business. So what I'm saying to you is, you are needed in the world. If you're a woman watching this right now, you're needed in the world. Your talents are needed in the world. They're needed at a higher level. You're being underutilized, and you can be fulfilled putting yourself out there to do something great in the world and give the world more of what it needs. So I'm really passionate about that, getting more women out there in leadership roles, whether it's owning their own business or becoming the CEO of a corporation, whatever it is. Our skills are needed. So I encourage you to think about that. Now, here's the thing. You don't need to have your idea solidified to start. A lot of people, women will get this analysis paralysis, and they just never launch or start because they can't figure out exactly what they want to do, or maybe they're having a hard time figuring out how to do what they want to do, or maybe they're too busy putting the finishing touches on something before they've even tested. And that's the key word: test, test, test. You have to put yourself out there and start testing ideas. My jewelry company is not what I envisioned it to be 3 years ago, because I went towards where I skated to where the puck is going, as Wayne Gretzky said. And you will have to do that too. You'll have to pivot, you'll have to massage, you'll have to engineer, because you are going to learn things along the way after you start that are going to make you successful if you pay attention to them and pivot to the opportunity. But you cannot start doing that if you don't just start. You just start. And you start seeing what the reactions are. What do you want to deal with? What kind of reactions you might get that go, you know what, I thought I wanted to do that, but I actually don't. It's like too tough, or I don't like the people that are drawn to me, right? Or the clientele. Or maybe you go, yeah, you know, I'm not getting the response over here I thought, but I had kind of this sidebar that went on. Those are the people I'm really interested in. You won't learn that gold about what you're passionate about, what you're willing to invest your time into building, if you don't start. So how do you start? Well, the gateway to entrepreneurship has never, ever, ever been wider, because the gateway to getting out there has never been wider. Why? Because you don't have to do it face to face anymore. You don't have to go to an event and speak live. You certainly can. It's a great way to get your name out there, but you don't have to. You can do this from your home, just like I'm talking to you right now on my iPhone, shooting a video for YouTube, right? It has never been easier to get your name out there. So you can start a YouTube channel. You can start a Facebook page where you can do Facebook Lives or just do posts, and start testing your ideas. Start testing what you want to do. You know, I started a jewelry company, and I started putting stuff out there and seeing what would fly on the internet and what people would like. And you know what I found out? That there was a different way for me to sell my designs than what I was originally thinking. And now, after 3 years, it's only now starting to come to fruition, where people will buy my handcrafted, upstyled vintage jewelry pieces that have all these different components based on what I'm doing over here that's completely different, which is just selling vintage jewelry outright, right? That's how I build my trust with my besties, with my peeps, with my avatar, is I pivoted towards what worked really well, and then I built what I thought I was going to do off of that. So completely different business model than I ever thought, okay? That's the opportunity you have to give yourself, and it's so, so easy to do it. I think one of the things you really have to be willing to do, and this is simple, is just to accept change, be willing to evolve, okay? So every business, it doesn't matter what it is, there's almost no business I can think of that doesn't need to market effectively online, right? 96% of people In 2017, it's 2018 now. In 2017, 96% of people were buying, researching, vetting their purchase decisions online before they did anything. And that includes things like dentists and accountants and lawyers, as well as products and services. So the only ones that might be left out are maybe business to business in construction or something, even business to business, whether it's graphics or whatever, because we've moved from so much a product-based economy to a service-based economy. Services are marketed online. So this is how you're going to get your name out there, and you just start, okay? There's no way to market your business anymore unless you have an online presence. So this is how you're going to start, and be encouraged that this is where skate to where the puck is going. This is where the market's going, and it gives you such a huge opportunity because you can do it from anywhere, right? I'm sitting in my backyard right now on a beautiful sunny day, and I can talk to you about this important message in my backyard. I don't have to go down to the chamber. I don't have to go to some women's group. And even when I meet with my women's group online, we do it through Zoom. I mean, I've got people on the East Coast, people on the West Coast, people in the middle of the country. We all meet at the same time. I don't have to go anywhere. I do it from my office. So there's huge opportunity for you right now, and I implore you to start now. Start. That's the message of this video. Just start. You don't have to continue if you decide you don't like it. You can pivot, you can start something new, but start exploring what you love. Stalk the people that you have interest in. Stalk them online and say, what are they doing? What's their unique message? How do they really market this? What am I getting from them in email that is so cool that I could emulate, right? Watch what successful people do and emulate it. And remember, you're probably not going to end up doing what you started doing, okay? Like my online women's group, Women Thriving at Work, probably will eventually change to Women Thriving in Business, because guess what? Everybody who's in the group is thinking along those lines, right? Okay. I wanted to give you an example of someone, you know, my husband and I, we have 3 businesses, all of them marketed online, 1 product-based, 2 content-based, or service-based businesses. And we have the absolute blessing and pleasure, and of course we pay for this, to be in a group where we get to interface with the best of the best online marketers in the entire world. And every one of them has pivoted. Every one of them has pivoted. There's a man named James Wedmore who is a millionaire. He lives here in California in Laguna Beach, and he's someone that we are part of his group and have learned from him. And he started out being the YouTube ROI, video ROI guy, right? He had a $300, $200, I think it was a $200 program where he taught you how to rank high on YouTube. Okay, that's how he started. But then he started having people come to him and go, hey, I don't know how to build this kind of business, right? So his big ticket item is, I think it's called Business by Design, but that's what he's doing now, right? He's helping people do bigger things with their life because he pivoted to the opportunity where his besties, where his clients, where his avatars were asking him questions. And that's why you have to start. You just have to start, because you're gonna need the feedback to show you where the market could go for what you're interested in. So the thing I want you to remember is the gateway's never been wider for entrepreneurism. The funnel of people in that category is going like this because the people online are going like this, right? And it's the place where everything is happening. It's the new reality. It's the new world. It's online. So I encourage you just to start testing ideas. Do a Facebook page, do an Instagram, take your message and just start putting it out there and testing it. Take your product. You know, if you're gonna make something like I started with the jewelry company, put it out there and see what kind of response you get, see what kind of dialogue you can get, okay? And remember that it's okay to pivot, it's okay to change, it's okay to evolve. This is the only way you can decide what kind of business that you should start. And you have to start so you can make that decision, okay? So I hope this was helpful to you. I'm going to be putting out in a week or two a document that shows you how to financially plan to leave your job and start your business. So if you'd like to get a copy of that when I release it, please click the link down below and join my email list, and I'll be glad to send that to you as soon as it's done, because that's one of the big things that really is difficult for a lot of women and people to get their head wrapped around, is financially, how am I going to make this happen, right? But there's a way to do it, and I'll show you how through the planner. So click the link and join my email club, and I'll be glad to send that to you, okay? And if you're interested in women thriving at work / business, please email me at lacy@lacyshane.com. I'll be glad to give you more information, or you can visit realwomenrealsuccess.com and go to the Women Thriving at Work tab to find out more information, okay? If you email me, I'll give you a link for a discount to join, okay? So I hope you go out there and have a great week. Always remember, I'm your biggest fan, and start testing your ideas. Get out there, start talking about what you want to do, start building what you want to build, because the world needs your talents, okay? I'll see you next time.